When did someone accuse you of lying while people were literally dropping like flies around them? I tried to warn stadium security that thousands of people were about to pass out from poisonous gas, and they accused me of trying to scam my way into better seats. My buddy Peter had gotten us tickets to the rivalry game at the university stadium, and the place was absolutely packed with screaming fans. We were pushing through the lower concourse when I noticed the air felt completely wrong in a way that made my stomach drop. After 12 years installing commercial HVAC systems, I know when ventilation is failing, and this was really bad. The overhead vents were blowing air in, but nothing was pulling it out, which meant all the fumes from the heating systems and food equipment had nowhere to go except into our lungs. The air was already thick with that metallic taste of carbon monoxide, and based on how fast it was building, we had maybe 20 minutes before people started collapsing. A woman near us suddenly dropped to her knees and vomited while her friends screamed. Two guys were dragging their unconscious buddy toward what they thought was the exit, but were actually heading deeper into the tunnels. Peter grabbed my arm looking green and said he felt like he was going to pass out. The crowd kept pushing forward, completely unaware they were walking into a death trap. I shoved through to two security guards at their checkpoint and told them the ventilation was broken and people were being poisoned by carbon monoxide. The older guard didn't even look up. "Sir, if you're feeling sick, the medical station is by section 115. Right then, a man collapsed 5 feet away and started convulsing while his wife screamed for help. The guard glanced over and shrugged. "We had 6 people pass out from dehydration last week, so unless you've got an actual emergency, you need to move along." I pointed at the dead vents overhead and told him I'd been installing these systems for 12 years and these exhaust fans had failed. 3 more people were sliding down walls, and a teenage girl crashed into a concrete pillar, crying she couldn't see straight. The younger guard stepped forward, watching the chaos. "Let me guess, you want us to evacuate so you and your buddies can sneak into club seats while security's distracted." I pulled out my commercial HVAC license while the girl's friends screamed she wasn't breathing right. The older guard actually laughed. "My nephew bought one of those online for $50, so take your fake ID somewhere else before we have you arrested." A dad carrying his unconscious son pushed past us sobbing, and the guards didn't budge. "That child is dying and you're making jokes about fake IDs?" The younger guard crossed his arms, looking disgusted. "We get scumbags like you every game trying to cause problems for better seats." People had started vomiting blood, and bodies were piling up near the bathrooms where fans were literally crawling trying to find air. The older guard reached for his radio, then stopped. "You know what's funny is maintenance mentioned something about the air system this morning, but we're not shutting down concessions on our biggest money night because some wannabe hero wants attention." The younger guard smiled, and I could smell beer on his breath. "You're the kind of sick freak who yells fire in a crowded theater, and if you don't leave right now, I'm calling Metro Police." Peter was leaning against the wall, gasping, and I could feel my own head pounding from the poisoned air. I half carried him through the crowd while pulling out my phone to call 911. We stumbled into the parking lot, where I collapsed on the asphalt and told the dispatcher there was a carbon monoxide emergency at the stadium with thousands of people trapped. 20 minutes later, the fire chief found me still sitting on the asphalt. Those CO levels were at 450 parts per million. This would have been a mass casualty event if you hadn't called. They pulled 17 people out unconscious and had to life flight 3, including the teenage girl who potentially had permanent vision damage. The older guard found me an hour later, his face pale. "I'm sorry I didn't listen. I thought you were just another drunk trying to scam better seats." His hands were shaking. "Maintenance told us about the ventilation problem weeks ago, but fixing it would have cost us 2 home games worth of concession sales." The younger guard, who'd called me a sick freak, quit on the spot when he saw them carrying out unconscious kids. The university gave me lifetime season tickets, but I still carry a carbon monoxide detector to every game because apparently watching people convulse isn't enough evidence if security thinks you're just trying to cause trouble.